In breaking news, the Nottingham Gamer riots have entered their 5th day. The chaos was sparked by yet another price rise from Games Workshop.
Hello guys, and welcome to today's meeting. Today we are going to be going over targets. Unfortunately, you have all been missing your targets recently, so we're going to have to do a big deep dive into the data and to find out why you guys are doing such a piss poor job.
I really want a dwarf army. More accurately, I want a budget dwarf army that's not going to break the bank. What's up guys, Rab here from Rabtastic Paints, and these are my Iron Hill Proxies. Now these dwarves are from Fireforge Games, and price wise, well, I'm not going to ruin the surprise at the end of the video, am I? Now I bought a total of 6 boxes from Fireforge Games, 3 boxes of Warriors, a box of Rambuck Raiders, a box of Crossbowmen, and a box of Hammerers. Now apart from the Rambuck Raiders, which has the parts to build 6 Goat Raiders, everything else has the parts to build 12 units, and they have plenty of spare parts in them. The Warrior boxes allow you to create either 12 Sword and Shield or 12 Spear and Shield. Now every box comes with plenty of spare parts to allow you to customise your units as you see fit. Every box also has like a command blister to allow you to add a banner bearer or some captains to your army as well. So you're getting a free captain with every box pretty much, and a free banner as well, which is ridiculous. The only issue with these boxes for me is that the Rambuck Raiders didn't come with 40mm circular bases for MESBG, whereas all of the troop infantry units come with 25mm circular and square bases for, I assume, Old World. So the Rambuck Raiders had some very strange looking bases, and I had to jump on Amazon and buy my own ones to use. Now as for the crossbows, although they weren't as heavily armoured as the other troops, they would still fit into the army pretty well. Another added bonus is that all of the crossbowmen have a Bavis shield, I think that's how you pronounce it, the big sort of man-sized shield that you hide behind fire crossbows. So if you have Corsairs and you maybe want to build some Arbalisters, this box is for you. It's like, I'm not telling you prices yet, it's cheap and you can definitely use it to kit bash some Arbalisters. Now the Hammerers were just a little bit of extra flavour for me. These are going to be used to represent Mattocks, but I think you could probably use them as Grimhammers in an airborne list. They all have the sort of hammer with a pick at the end of it. They also come with single-handed options and shields, so you could use them for just sort of generic Warriors of Erebor, I guess. But yeah, plenty of options in the box, plenty of bits for my next kit bashing project. Now building these models is very simple. The parts are all interchangeable, so there's no mistakes to be made, and they're actually interchangeable between boxes as well. The parts from all the boxes fit these, which is great. I started by making a little captain first. I wanted someone to lead my boys before I could get my Dane Ironfoot ready. With a captain out of the way, I quickly went through the rest of the box, building up all the models. I was really excited to get them on the table and see how they scaled compared to other actual MESBG models. And the answer is not bad. Here they are beside my Dane Ironfoot proxy that I got from Dandelion in Middle-earth, I think that's where it was anyway. The only issue with them really was that their bases are quite thin, but I guess that does make them shorter, so that's more dwarfy, I guess. Then it was just a simple job of building up the other 2 boxes of warriors. I decided to do 1 box of sword and shield, so there'll be 12 sword and shield, and then 24 spears, including 2 captains and 2 banners, as well as 6 spears but not shields, and those would be the Goat Rider dismounts, because Goat Riders don't get shields apart from the captain, so I had to keep a couple of models without shields. And this is how they came out. Again, really impressed with the options in the box and the models themselves. They look pretty good to me. They're never going to be as good as Forge World resin, but again, for the price, which I'll reveal later, you're not getting a bad deal. Next up was the crossbowman, and I was really looking forward to getting 12 crossbows on the table because it's quite disgusting. I'm getting told that Iron Hill crossbows are actually a trap unit. They look a lot better than they are, but because they're missing out on shields and don't get shield wall, they're actually rubbish. I don't believe it for a second. 12 crossbow shots straight across the bows, love it. Now, building these models was pretty straightforward, just like the warriors. The only small issue was that the crossbows are on 2 parts and they're a little bit fiddly, and you need to get both hands on the crossbow, so you really need to dry fit it before you stick them together. And there you have a full 12 crossbowmen. Do Iron Hills get heroic accuracy? Next up was the box of hammerers, which I was going to turn into 12 mattocks. Now, these are another trick unit apparently, because you drop the shield again, so you lose shield wall, and it's a 2-handed weapon, so you suffer -1 to the dual roll. But I like the idea of +1 to wound, as well as being able to either bash or piercing strike. So strength 4, piercing strike up to 5, +1 to wound isn't bad at all. Again, building these models was super simple. The only small difficulty was that they're 2-handed as well, so you've got to match the arms up so that they're both holding the weapon at the same time. But this box actually had more spare pieces than the rest of them, because it had the option for 12 axes and shields. There might be some swords in there as well, so I'm going to keep those to replace some weapon swaps as well. And there we have it, 12 2-handed mattocks ready to roll 1s on their dual roll with a -1, lose every fight and just die. Now, I couldn't get the Goat Raiders built as the bases wouldn't be arriving until the next day, so I decided just to build up all the models that I did have and save myself a long job. So whilst you watch me do that, a huge thank you to all of my patrons who make videos like this possible. I know it sounds like a cliche, but I did empty my Patreon account to help pay for these models, so you guys paid for this video pretty much. Reminder that Patreon members get an exclusive Patreon only Rabtastic dice, as well as a regular red Rabtastic dice. You'll also get one of the Grey Company painted and named after you for use in future events maybe, and you'll also be added to the list of potential reinforcements from a Battle Companies campaign that I'm running at the moment as well. All of that and access to Discord, where we just share photos of Lord of the Rings memes and our paintings. Once the bases had arrived and I had reset up all of my camera and lighting equipment, it was time to crack on with the Goat Riders, or Rambok Raiders. I decided that 2 of them would be captains, because I quite like the idea of having my captains mounted. Having a shield and a war spear is really tasty for captains with Master of Battle, so quite handy. The other 4 were just going to be generic guys who didn't have shields, so they might look a little bit strange. Now, these models were so easy to build, especially the riders. They sat perfectly in the saddle, that I decided to jazz things up a little bit and use the same idea that I did for my Felbing's Mirkwood army, and create some terrain using some corkboard, some mountainous terrain for these goats to climb over. I also went that extra step to make sure the captains looked the exact same on foot and mounted, using the same parts and eventually the same colour scheme. And there we have it, 6 mounted Iron Hill Dwarves on our war goats. These are going to be very fun to use, especially the 2 captains. With 66 dwarves built, now it's time to paint them. I started with a primer of gunmetal from Army Painter, which is great because they're 90% metal anyway. I then gave them all a wash with Nuln Oil to really bring out some of the details of the model again. I picked out the small parts of skin that were shown with Bugman's Glow and then Cadian Flesh Tone. I painted a variety of hair colours across the models, some redhead, some brown, some black. I used Rhinox hide for all of the leather parts of the armour. I painted the spears a very simple black. I added some gold trim around the armour and shield. And I settled on purple for the army's main colour. And here they are in all of their glory, the budget dwarves of the Iron Hills. And let's not forget those goat riders we put a little bit of extra time into as well. Thanks for watching the video, guys, and I hope to see you next. Wait, I forgot the prices, the thing you actually came to see in the entire video. So to get all of these models from Fireforge Games, the 12 Hammerers, the 36 Warriors, the 12 Crossbowmen and the 6 Rambuck Riders is €145, and that includes free shipping for orders over €100. This isn't an advert, I'm not selling you these guys, I don't have any affiliate link with them or anything like that. That's about £102, £103 sterling. Now to get the official models directly from Games Workshop, which is the only place you can get them because they're Forge World, is a whopping £477. That's almost 4 times as much for the same equivalent army. That's if you can get it. As you can see, the crossbowmen are currently out of stock. Also, they don't actually have sword and shield boys, they don't exist, despite the fact that being the standard Iron Hills dwarf, you have to kit bash your own sword and shield because they all come with spears and standard, which is fair because spears are cool, but yeah, 4 times as much to get the official army. I know where I'd rather spend my money, and it's not on an extra 300 and something pounds of models. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it makes you think a little bit more about maybe kit bashing or finding alternatives rather than just relying on Games Workshop official ones. If you enjoyed the video, please hit like, please subscribe, please leave a comment for or against Proxies and me just not wanting to spend almost £500 on an army. And I'll see you in the next video.